everybody, it's the start of August and therefore time for a July wrap-up and August to be read video. So the first thing I read this month was the entire Throne of Glass series. Throne of Glass was good, Crown of Midnight was really good, Heir of Fire took the series to a whole new level, and Queen of Shadows, just Queen of Shadows. I read this book thinking, how can a book be this good? And finally I went back to the prequel to the series and read The Assassin's Blade. By the time I got to Assassin's Blade, I was completely in love with Selena, who's the lead character, and I would just read about her washing the dishes, to be honest, now, because she's just such a fun character. I love her. If you want to hear my thoughts in more detail on this series, I've done a video on each book already, so you can go back and watch those. After that, I actually took a few days off reading because I read that whole series the first week of July. And I had a major reading hangover because it was so good and I had to recover from Queen of Shadows for about 3 days before I could read anything else. But when I finally started reading again, I read Bonjour Tristesse. This book is described on the front as funny, immoral and thoroughly French, and that's exactly what I thought of it. And the last fiction book I read this month was The Hero in the Crown by Robin McKinley. After I read the Throne of Glass series, I was watching lots of interviews with Sarah J Maas, and she said that this and Sabriel were two of her biggest influences as a writer, so I decided to read them too. So the next thing I read was my non-fiction book for the month, which was A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. He explained things as if he was explaining them to a non-scientist, which as a non-scientist I found really helpful. After that I actually read 2 more non-fiction books, which is really unusual for me because usually my wrap-ups are overwhelmed by fiction, but I'm actually writing a book at the moment, so I've been reading books about writing. So the first book I read about writing, Plot and Structure by James Scott Bell, and after that I read How Not to Write a Novel by Sandra Newman and Harold Middlemark. This is probably one of the funniest non-fiction books I've ever read. They basically go through all of the really bad mistakes that first-time writers make, like cliches. The first thing I'd like to read this month is The Wrath of the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh? I'm not sure how you say her surname. And the sequel to this book, which is The Rose and the Dagger. These are based on stories from Arabian Nights, and I'm really excited to read them because I've heard such good things about them on BookTube so far. After that, I'm going to read The Mabinogion. This is the base text of Welsh mythology. It's probably the most important text in Welsh mythology. I'd really like to do that while I'm in Wales for the summer. After that, I'm planning on reading The Graduate for another summer-themed book whilst we're clinging to the last part of the summer holidays. And then for my non-fiction this month, I'm going to continue reading about writing to help me with my writing. So I'm going to read The First 5 Pages by Noah Lukeman, Getting Started in Writing Historical Fiction by Emma Darwin. So that's it. Those are all the books that I read in the month of July and what I'm planning on reading in the month of August. Let me know if you've read any of them or if you've enjoyed them or have any thoughts on them in the comments. If you want my videos to pop up in your YouTube feed so that you can hear all about the lovely book joy going around, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!